Okay, so Rabbi say the Gemara over here says the Gemara yesterday we started the Gemara of the Itztaba, right? And we discussed two cases in the middle of the Amid where you put the Itztaba. The Itztaba was a platform, and the first case of the Gemara was you put the platform against the wall, the three walls of the sukkah. So that what we said yesterday in yesterday's Gemara is if you have a 7x7 amount of space. Surrounded by those three walls on top of the platform, that sukkah is fine. We said even a chiddush we didn't go into so much that even the area beyond the platform will be fine. Okay, and now we're discussing the next picture, the next Gemara, which is smack in between those two pictures. There's a Gemara that says Umin Atzad. This is the new Gemara now. Umin Atzad. We just started it yesterday. Umin Atzad. And if you have the platform against the side walls, one of the side walls. So if you look at the picture, it's touching two walls, right? So we need to, and on top of the it's the ball. You can have the 7x7, but the shaila is how do you get a third wall for sukkah? You need three walls. Says the Gemara, Im yesh misvas itztaba lekaisel. If from the edge of the platform to the opposite wall, the free wall, you have dalat amos, you have 4 amos pasula, it's pasul. Pachas me'arba amos. If you have less than 4 amos, kishera, it's kasha. It's kasha. So you have less than 4 amos going from the edge of the platform to the third wall. If you have less than 4 amos going from the edge of the platform to the third wall, then the sukkah is kasha. This we spoke of yesterday is a concept called doifin akuma. Doifin akuma was a new din in sukkah that we were just introduced to. And doifin akuma means is that if you were to take your hand and go up the whole that wall, the third wall, and you go to the under 4 amos of schach, that let's go 3.5 amos. Let's say there's 3.5 amos till you get to the edge of the itztaba, right? There's 3.5 amos. So that little bit can now be viewed as the wall. So the wall goes like this and it bends. Doifin akuma is a bent wall. The wall bends and will stop just at the edge of the itztaba. The chiddush is that we now view the wall at the edge of the itztaba. We kind of like shifting the wall over.
Or the wall ends. We're making the wall.
We're making the wall vertically drop over there.
Is it the same thing if, like, by the two cities, if it's in between? Let's say 2 amos, let's say 2 amos to one and 2 amos to the other. Then we make that the whole entire. I mean, it's not connected to any walls.
Right.
We're giving cases
house
right now.
in the middle. He's asking.
House in the middle, right?
Right. So like.
Could the 70 amos reach within 4 amos of
Just
the house?
touching the house.
No, he's saying within 4 amos of the house. No, because there's no ceiling. There's no ceiling.
Doesn't buy this.
So there's nothing to bend.
Oh, you're saying, but that's a heter in sukkah. It's a heter in schach.
Right. There's no stop.
But doifin akuma, right? Doifin akuma is a heter in schach. So that's what we're seeing right now.
The schach that would be over the puzzle area of the sukkah would become part of the wall.
Exactly. That schach is viewed as exactly. That's mamash what doifin akuma is. So
the ground not on the platform is good.
So the area, so in the second case, the area that's not underneath the platform is not kosher,
right.
Because we're viewing it as part of the wall. No longer are we viewing it as schach. That small area, that less than 3, let's call it 3.5 amos. That is viewed as wall, and therefore the chiddush here would be that you cannot. Here it's different than the previous case. Here you would not be. It wouldn't be kosher. Now the Gemara asks, "My kamash malon, what are we learning over here?"
Yeah.
Right? My kamashma, what are we saying over here? The Amrina, the Gemara is asking this as a question, as a tumia, right? As a shaila. My kamashma, what are we asking over here? What are we saying here? The Amrina doifin akuma, that we say doifin akuma? Tanina, we learned this in the Mishnah. This is a Mishnah that's going to come up on the Yud Zayin. Tanina, we learned in the Mishnah. We learned this concept in the Mishnah. Why do you have to teach this chiddush of doifin akuma? It's not a chiddush. Tanina, we learned in the Mishnah. Bias. A house shenifches that the roof caved in. Picture you have a house that it's a flat roof and the middle of the roof caved in. The middle of it caved in, not the entire roof, just the middle of the roof caved in. Okay. So the sikich agabo, you then went and put schach over this hole. Now you filled in the roof came in, you now put schach over that hole. The hole that caved in, you covered it with schach. Is that kosher? Put a comma there. Now it's a comma, because now we're going to explain. Im yesh min hakaisa l'sikoch. If from the wall, the top of the wall, until the schach dalet amos, if you have dalet amos, psula, it's possible. Hapachis mikan, but if you have less than dalet amos, kishera, then the sukkah is kosher. Question mark. So kishera. So you see that we already learned kishera is kosher. You can write on the side because doif and akuma allows us to see the wall extending until the schach. Kisheirot's kosher because doif and akuma tells us to extend the wall to the schach. So the question is that we learned in that Mishnah of this house the law of doif and akuma, the halacha of doif and akuma. So why does our Brisa have to teach us the case of the platform and to bring out the din of doif and akuma? We know doif and akuma from the case of the house that caved in.
Over here, it's touching the walls by the roof that fell on?
No. The roof that fell in.
The schach is randomly in the middle of.
Yeah, picture there's a hole. There'll be a hole in the middle of the roof, and now just over that hole you put it. But on the side, you have regular ceiling.
Touching the wall.
A lot of people have that in their houses.
It's touching nothing.
That's what
so
it
why
is.
would it be? David Akuma means that it's
Open
two
the
walls
wall,
with the last
right.
wall bending into
Go
make
all the way to
kosher.
the side.
Right.
Here, it's not connected to anything. It's just random block. You can't make it all three.
So Rabbi say,
Nothing.
Rabbi Chaim is.
Jumping again.
1 second, Rabbi Chaim, I think you make an answer here. So after the Rikoshet was a question mark because we already learned Doif and Akuma, right? We already learned Doif and Akuma, klar. So we already know Doif and Akuma. So why do we now need to teach it again in the case of the platform, the Itztaba? The Gemara answers, Ma'adatema, the Gemara is answering. Ma'adatema, if you just had, from the case of the roof alone, you would have thought. From the case of the roof alone, you would have thought, Hasam, hu dechaz yeladoifen. The wall is fit to be a wall. The wall is a proper wall. The wall is a kosher wall. Hasam, in the case of the roof, hu dechaz yeladoifen. The wall is fit to be a wall. It's halachically, there's no issue with the wall. There's only an issue with the schach.
Sorry, what's the Hassan over there?
Hasam, in the case of the roof that caved in, hu dechaz yeladoifen. The walls are fit to be are fit the requirement for walls. There's nothing wrong with them. They're kosher walls. I wrote on the side
Because they look like walls.
no,
it's an
because they're
actual
within
wall.
the shear. They're not there. I wrote on the side because they're under 20 amos. So you only need doif and akuma to bring the wall closer, to bring the schach. Doif and akuma is gonna help the
You don't
schach.
need to bring the wall in.
Exactly. You don't need to correct the wall. The wall is the right height, correct? The wall is the right height. You only need that the schach should be viewed as an extension of the wall. So doif and akuma would help that we look at the ceiling as an extension of the wall. Yeah? But is the wall itself has the right shear. Right? It's kalar. The wall is the right shear, it's 20 amos. There's a problem that the ceiling is not schach. So doif and akuma says to continue viewing the ceiling as part of the wall. But the actual standing walls are fine. Aval hacha. But in the case of the platform, the third wall is not a kosher wall because it's higher than 20 amos. Right? So doif and akuma has to correct the actual wall. Doif and akuma is being used to also move the wall and make the wall kosher. The wall is not the 20 amma height, right? The wall is beyond, the platform is here, right? And the wall is too high. So we need to bring the wall in and now view the wall as if it's adjacent to the platform. So we need to bring the wall adjacent to the platform to make it that the wall now is less than 20 amos. So what are we doing? We're doing two things. We're extending the wall on top, and we're doing two things. We're making the schach kosher, and we're also making the wall kosher wall. And that's an added chiddush.
Before it was over 20.
Before it's over 20. And now we're using doif and akuma to view the wall as within 20. View this is a
So
clock.
the Doif and Akuma makes the wall under 20 amos, or the Itztaba makes it under 20 amos?
Well, doif and akuma, it's gewaldig. So this brings out doif and akuma is allowing us to see the wall adjacent to the itztaba. So it's allowing us to make the wall kosher. So we're relying on doif and akuma to make the wall kosher. Without doif and akuma, just relying on the Sechta wouldn't help. So in one case, Daifin Akuma is, in the case before, Daifin Akuma is just helping us for the Schach. The wall is perfect as is by the case of the house. It's clear, this chilik. In the case of the house, the wall is perfect. Elamai, there's a problem that it's just not adjacent to the Schach. Here, we need to use Daifin Akuma to make the wall a kosher wall. So that's something added. Right? Emaloi. Maybe you would say, maybe you cannot use Daifin Akuma for this purpose, for making the wall kosher. Emaloi. Maybe Daifin Akuma does not work in this case. Right? Emaloi. Maybe Daifin Akuma would not help in the case of the platform. We're using it too much. Kamash Malan. That will even say Daifin Akuma to make the wall kosher. That's the Kamash Malan. Kamash Malan will even use Daifin Akuma to make the wall kosher. Okay, let's hop on just a few more lines of Gemara here. Is it clear? Your whole sukkah is taller than 20 amas. Ubana itztaba be'emtziyasa, and you built a platform in the middle of the 20 amas.
I'm guessing.
Not like, because according to Rabbi Yehuda, we have no issue, right? Exactly. This everything, like Chaim is saying, this whole Gemara is only according to the Rabbanan that hold that a sukkah above 20 amas is not kosher. So we're trying to find ways to rectify that issue. If your sukkah is taller than 20 amas, ubana itztaba be'emtziyasa, and you built a platform in the middle of the sukkah. Im yesh. So now, so put a comma there. Now we're gonna see if we can qualify this as a kosher sukkah. Im yesh misvas itztaba uludaifin. If from the edge of the itztaba uludaifin, here we mean to all four walls, right? Well, the Gemara will say that. Uludaifin arba amais. I'm sorry, 4 amais. L'chol ruach v'ruach, to every direction, because the platform is in the middle of the sukkah. L'chol ruach v'ruach, so it's 4 amais to every direction. Then psula, because Daifin Akuma does not help if it's 4 amos. Daifin Akuma only works on the 4 amos. Pachas me'arba amos kisheira. If it's less than 4 amos, it's kosher.
And you could only eat on the itzvah.
That's what we would say in the Chanam.
Yeah. Well, the same thing
Right.
with the case
Not
of
just one
the,
Daifin Akuma around the whole
Yeah.
sukkah.
So what? Why? Why can't you do on the whole thing?
No, you were going to apply Daif, but you wouldn't be able to eat on that part
Why is
because
that different than the last case?
no. And we had 2 cases. One where it was against the wall.
The middle wall. Yeah.
Right, against the middle wall. That one you're allowed to eat beyond that. But in the other case, you're not allowed to eat beyond that because if you're using Daifin Akuma tells us that
it's not part of the sukkah.
exactly. See that as wall. So now you'll be underneath the wall. Gavaldik. So the Gemara asks, "My Kamash Malan, what are you teaching us over here?" It's again a similar question. Damrina Daifin Akuma. That we say Daifin Akuma. Hainu hach. Again, my Kamash Malan, what are you teaching us here? Damrina Daifin Akuma. That we say Daifin Akuma. Wait, Hainu hach. This is the same as the last case of the platform. This is the same case as the case of the platform. Because both of them are using a Daifin Akuma to make the sukkah kosher. So the Gemara answers, no, it's different. You cannot learn. You can't learn from that case of itztaba of the platform. Ma'odetema, you would think Daifin Akuma miruach achas. Daifin Akuma is Allah l'Moshe Sinai. Maybe it only applies to one side. The miruach achas amrinan. We would say it from only on one side, in one direction. Avokol ruach v'ruach loy. But for every direction, no, loy. We wouldn't say it. Kamash Malon, that will even say Daifin Akuma in all directions.
Hainu is going on.
Hainach is on the platform. Hainu hach.
Tanina or on the case before that?
Not the Tanina, the case of the platform.
the second case.
The second case of the second platform.
What's it about Daifin Akuma that I don't think it's only one wall?
Because
Well,
Daifin